New stage, 2 new characters, 2 new abilities and more. Let's take a look at the new Halls of Torment update. The new map, called the Chamber of Dissonance, is unlocked by defeating the Twisted Construct boss in the Frozen Depths. It's red, it has clay babies, even a boss that throws clay babies at you, and it has a banging soundtrack. To me, it's definitely the most interesting map yet. It's got walls and obstacles to navigate like the Frozen Depths, but it's less blue and depressing. Instead, it's red and spicy. Every single enemy here is also new and unique. If you're an experienced player that has most stuff in the game already unlocked, you shouldn't have any issues beating the stage on normal mode. I was able to do this on a relatively low min-max run where I just picked any ability I felt like. Agony mode, however, is something else as one would expect. You're going to want somewhat of a more focused build if you aim to take this down on agony mode, and lots of health regeneration is definitely helpful. This stage throws a lot of stuff at you in the late game, and I'd be very impressed if you manage to navigate through this mess without taking any damage. By surviving in the Chambers of Dissonance until there are only 12 minutes left, you unlock the Landsknecht. He's one of the 2 new characters added to the game. The Landsknecht has 2 weapons, a gun that shoots physical projectiles and a grenade that has a chance of triggering and being thrown upon dealing damage with any kind of projectile. Because of this, the Landsknecht synergizes well with abilities that deal projectile damage like the Phantom Needles, Transfixion and even Kugelblitz. I was able to defeat the last boss in the Chambers of Dissonance on Agony 5 even when doing my very first test run with the Landsknecht and just stacking heavily on projectile based abilities. I shiver to think of what he can accomplish with a min-maxed build. By surviving all the way to the end in the Chambers of Dissonance on Agony mode, you unlock the Sage. It doesn't matter which Agony level you're on as long as you can get to the boss. You don't even have to defeat the boss. The Sage is quite a special character. He doesn't have a weapon. Instead, when you start the run as the Sage, you get to choose an ability. The ability you choose will act as your main weapon, meaning it will scale off all the traits that affects main weapon abilities. On top of this, the ability you choose also gain a 50% damage buff from the get-go. This opens up a whole new door when it comes to playing around with abilities and creating stupidly themed meme builds. This can make abilities crazy strong when carefully combined with the right character marks. I was just messing around and not really trying for anything, and I managed to create this absolute hurricane of a Morningstar build. Imagine what I could do if I actually tried. You can also unlock 2 pretty insane late game traits through the Sage. These are called Ethereal Shift. They let you make a choice between increasing damage of either physical or magical attacks by 50% while reducing the other by 200%. There's 2 of these, meaning that you can effectively double the damage of your abilities for those late parts of your runs. To unlock these traits, you have to deal 10 and then again 100 million damage with your main ability when playing as the Sage. On later runs, you'll now see these new traits appear after reaching level 70. And that Morningstar I talked about just a minute ago is one of the new abilities, and it's unlocked by playing the Landsknecht and dealing 4 million projectile damage. You shouldn't even have to try to unlock this as long as you just pick a few projectile based abilities. The Morningstar feels very underwhelming the first time you use it. It just swings back and forth from top to bottom, not really hitting any enemies on the side. That changes quickly once you get the first ability upgrade that adds a ball and changes the pattern, and then again when you stack up on a multi-strike to get even more balls going. Damage scales of force, so definitely add some force into your build when going with the Morningstar. The second new ability is a Spectral Fist. This is unlocked by playing as a Sage and then dealing 15 million direct damage with abilities. Another quest that should automatically unlock as long as you get a half decent run going. The Spectral Fist deal pretty heavy damage in a rather large area. It charges out from you and rips through anything in its path. Sadly, it's not affected by multi-strike at all to get even more fists, so you can't go full Gomu Gomu no Gatling gun with this. You can however scale the damage pretty high to become the One Punch Man, especially if you pick it as your starting ability on the Sage, which gives it a 50% damage buff from the get-go. I haven't been playing around with all the ability upgrades to Spectral Fist and Morningstar yet, so you'll have to get around to that when playing with builds for future videos. There's also some worthy mentions for old and existing abilities. The Spirit Warriors now finally scale off summon count so you can get more of them. I have yet to test this out properly, but hopefully they will feel less underwhelming now that you can have an army of them. There's also a new ability upgrade for the Spirit Warriors tied to a quest that they haven't gotten around to yet. Frost Avalanche and Hailstorm have seen the same treatment. There's also one huge quality of life addition that is worth mentioning. By right-clicking specific traits, you'll get to see which traits will become unavailable if you choose to pick it. This goes for class-based traits and traits for abilities. I always used the wiki for this before, so this makes things a lot simpler when targeting specific traits for your builds. I could cover every single patch note to make this video 8 minutes long and min-max my monetization, but I decided this is all you need to know. And I want to go play the game now. Check out the patch notes on Steam if you're interested, or go check out this video where I got 62 orbs spinning around me. I wonder if I can now get more of it to Sage.